Yes.
Formers, the support for formers. That's a whole nother 2 years of supporting them. I'm looking for maybe alternatives other than an ESL teacher doing that support. Can an AIS teacher or a reading teacher?
Do they have a background with ELS? So that is not new. The 2 years, that is not new. So for former ELS, for our commanding, that is not new. If you're asking in terms of flexibility of who can provide that service, that has not changed. Okay. You had a question.
Can you address the gathering student work during the identification process in the home language?
Okay. What would you like me to address?
That'll be a challenge, especially for the lower incident languages, and you may not have staff able to read or collect that.
Right. So in the low incidence languages, everything is different, obviously. Do you have people in the community, if it's maybe just one student or 2 or 3 students? But usually when you get a population, so if you start getting Bengali students, you're probably going to have a Bengali population in your district. You have to work with somebody in the community that can help you look at that information. You can gather it, and then you're going to have to work with somebody to help you look at that information. Okay? Any other questions? Yes.
So I'd just like to propose just 2 scenarios.
Okay.
So I have, let's say, a 7th grade ESOL teacher. Next year, she could push into or co-teach in 2 7th grade English classes where we would place our intermediate, advanced, transitioning students. Or if she's dual certified in English and ESOL, she could pull those students out of a regular English class, so they would never be in, let's say, her English class, and they would get their English from her only.
Correct.
That's correct.
Correct.
So what I was concerned about in my district is that if this ESOL teacher is either just getting their English credential or hasn't taught English in 10 years, which is my case, then she's not familiar yet with the expectations of a typical English class, the level of text, and so on and so forth. But we just work our way around that, you're saying, and we can do that.
Yes. Yes. But I'm glad you brought that up, because that's the reason we have the blueprint. Because she may not know what's happening, but your ESOL teacher should know what's happening in English. Period. Just across the board. Okay. Yes.
In regards to certification, sorry, can you hear me?
Yes.
Will there be any opportunities for extensions, for example, in ELA? I know that right now they're offering extensions for ESL, so it will be opposite way.
Okay. So a couple of things are happening with certification. So I have asked if people have ideas, give us some ideas. So 2 things are happening. Yes, there are certifications extension for ESOL license, and the qualifications are going to change a little. So we're working with the certification office so that it's, there's some courses there that you don't really need, right? So change it around a little. And we're working with them for vice versa. So if you're an ESOL teacher and you want to get the content, what does that look like? What do you have already in your repertoire that you won't need to replicate to get that license? So we're working on both. Okay?
Sorry to add that.
No, go ahead.
The generalist certificate, would that be appropriate? If you hold an ESL certification, would you then be able to teach that the integrated English?
I can't answer that. The certification, I would have to get that from the certification office. But we are working on something, and in about a month, you'll be hearing what that'll look like. But there is going to be flexibility both ways. Okay? Yes?
We have students who scored a 3 on last year's ELA and are advanced on the 2014 NICES SLAG. And some also who scored 65 on the regions, whether it was June, August, or this past January, who were also advanced. But we didn't get their names from SED. Can we exit them?
So these are kids that exited last year. So
No. It's they tested advanced in the 2014.
right, because that's the only test we have now, is the 2014 data.
Right. And they scored a 3 on last year's ELA. You said that
Yes,
we received
I'm
their names, but we didn't get their names.
So send us those names. I'm not sure why. They should have been. Send it, if the letters, those of you at the district level, you should have gotten a letter from Nick Pandy. If not, send it directly to our office, our main box. Go in there and send it to us, and we will make sure that the right person gets it. What is our email address?
obefls@nyscd.gov.
Thank you.
One more time,
Yeah,
please.
here, use the mic. Use the mic.
obefls@nyscd.gov.
We'll look into those students, because they should have come down. If they didn't, we don't know why. We'll look into it. There usually is some sort of a glitch. Okay. Anything else?
Any more questions?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. And then,
My question is about PDs. So the teachers in my district
Mm.
said the new regulation calls for PDs for all teachers.
Yes, correct.
10% for ESL teachers, 15% for non-ESL teachers.
correct.
But some of these teachers they don't have a professional certificate which requires you to get hours. They have the old certificate which is permanent.
Mhm.
So they say, how is the district going to make me, how are they gonna make me take this PD?
Wow, that's interesting language.
Well, maybe I'm not using the.
No, you probably are using the correct language.
How can the district ensure that teachers are getting PD in,
All right. So do these teachers participate in any kind of PD?
Some don't. In some districts, it's not required.
Okay. So that's unfortunate. So for the new certificates, they have to go to this PD. For the old certificates, it's unfortunate. Okay? But if there are other PD sessions that are happening throughout the district, and they do go, let's say that they do go, it should be integrated in everything that's happening. Okay? So you did use the right language.
Any other final questions, and we'll finish up?
Quick question about the program that you're thinking about hosting online about newcomers. Any particular textbook or materials
No,
that
the-
you're endorsing? Because
No.
we are getting through the budgets right now, and we don't have any time when you post it to know what you would.
So it's not, we're not endorsing any type of curriculum. There are books that go attached to it. So, and they're all online. But what we can do is, if you give Lisette your email address, and we'll put you in contact with the creators of the curriculum. And if you want some recommendations, they can tell you some things that they think might be appropriate. Okay?
And our final question in the front.
Like a bilingual teacher is teaching mainstream, and there are some ELLs in her classroom. Can she provide the ELL instruction?
If a bilingual teacher is teaching mainstream, not bilingual.
Right? Not bilingual, mainstream, but we put ELL students in there. Right now, I'm pulling them out to give them services.
But it is not a bilingual program. So
No,
the memo, if you guys recall the memo that was out 2 years ago or 3, it says that the bilingual teacher can provide the ESL at the time services within the bilingual program. You can always teach one period out of license, right?
Right.
But that's it.
So you still can.
Yeah. Not that I'm encouraging that, but you need
I
to
will
know.
pull them out.
Yeah. Well, we can talk.
Ms. Infante, I know that there probably are many more questions, and as we explore how to implement Part 154, there are going to be many more. Today, you've provided some very specific insight. Our panel in November kind of addressed the generalities of what the identification process would look like, what parent notification would be, perhaps with record keeping, the student placement, but it was very general. Today, we became a little more specific, and we appreciate your honesty in answering the questions, making yourself available to really clarify for our practitioners what it's going to mean to them in the buildings. We appreciate your providing the resources, because I think that together with your information today will help. We know many of you belong to the networks with the listservs, and that's going to be a continual source of information for you. Before I turn it back to Tony to say his closing remarks, I do want to thank all of you also for coming today. And, you know, as you look at the statistics, it's rather incredible that there's been a 20% growth rate in non-speaking students in the past 10 years. On Long Island alone, we have approximately 30,000 students who are non-speaking English students. So we all support these programs. We want to do what's best for our students, and hopefully with the information received today, we can continue on this journey. So thank you once again. I'm going to turn it back to Tony.
Ms. Infante, you were great. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. As John said, I think a lot of questions have been answered. As we receive more questions, we will pass them on, or you can pass them on to Ms. Infante and to get them solved. I will also send out tomorrow. Can I send you an email if they have questions?
No. The office email.
The office email, okay. I know you gave it to them. Does everyone have it? Because if you don't, I'd like to repeat it.
Yes, please.
Okay, we're gonna repeat it one more time.
I'll write it.
Oh, it's gonna be written on the screen. Again, thank you very much for coming today. And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact that email or the CAS office. We'd be happy to research any of your questions for you. Thank you very much. Ms. Infante, you did a great job.